Vazel, Keyshawn Elliott, Caleb McCullough, Tate Romney, in the back end, Xavier Alford, Miles Rouser, Shamari Simmons, Keith Abney, Mason Williams, Cole Martin, Javen Robinson. There's just so many guys. They've really stepped up and we're playing fast. And you can see it by tonight. I know it's a split team, but I guess what we've done all camp is we've been able to affect the football a lot more and disrupt the football a lot more, and it's led to some really good things for us defensively.
This year with the safety, sound like you guys got a lot more depth. You don't ever really walk on through with too deep. Just what are some of the benefits of having some of those guys out there?
The thing is that we're trying to do is we're trying to teach our guys the concept of our defense. So it gives us more flexibility to be able to move guys around, play different positions, and allow us to personnel some of our opponents to start coming in.
How do you feel like that install went? Kind of how do you feel like that developed?
I think it went really well. We installed
Once
way
again,
more than I
fans, we thank you for your
anticipated.
understanding and patience. Tonight's fireworks show has been
Installed
canceled due
a
to
lot
high winds in
more
the area.
game plan
Thank you.
specifically. Some of the things that we're going to see this fall, and we really actually moved on to actually working against like some of the looks and some of the things that we're going to do against some of our opponents that are going to present certain offensive challenges. So we're just way deeper into it right now, and we're already moving on to the fall, and we were able to do that this spring.
What do you kind of credit for that reason to be able to develop so quickly and really get the install going?
Well, one, the foundation that was laid last year, and making adjustments and tweaks and still growing with what we do and the principles of what we do. So, like I said, I mentioned a lot of guys, a lot of returners, the guys that are really the culture builders in that locker room. And those guys are really the culture builders in our position meeting rooms too. So we may have brought in some guys that have played a lot of snaps for other programs, and they came in, and that experience and knowing how to prepare along with the guys that came back has just allowed us to take those steps forward.
You talked about the culture. Obviously, there was 3 leaders who were part of the team who were kind of vocal in defense. Who do you feel like are some of the guys that stepped up for the spring, kind of filling some of those roles?
It starts with the linebacker room with Caleb McCullough and Tate Romney, and them showing just how to come to work every single day. To the secondary guys like Xavier Alford and Keith Abney, Shamari Simmons, and those guys showing, hey, this is how we come to work every day, and how we approach, each and every day, and how to get better. And then up front, CJ Fight, guys like CJ Fight and Tristan Monday and Elijah O'Neal, Clayton Smith, Prince Dorba, those guys, they just know what's expected and what the standard is.
You talked about Montana Warren in the preseason being a guy you want to play on every down. Do you feel like he's developed to that point where he can be a guy who's out there for every down for you guys?
I think he is at that point right now, but there's a lot of competition in other spots too. So it doesn't allow any of those guys to get comfortable. And he's definitely moving forward. And I think last year he had been in a position to start for us every game. This year, he's going to have to battle for it because there's other guys just as hungry as him.
How do you just feel like the safety room is kind of coming together as a whole? Because you mentioned the competition and the depth there. How do you feel like it's
It's been unbelievable. Just all those guys. Those guys they really are a special group, and they've found a way to kind of really glue together and unify, and they're all helping each other get better. But there's also competition in there. So that competition is going to drive our performance this fall.
There's been some players who come to the part of the team enter the transfer portal in the last week or so. What do you feel like are maybe some of the additions? Or do you feel like there's anything that you need to add in the portal coming up?
I just, right now, we're always on the lookout for guys that we feel like they're going to make us better. But we really like the group that we have right now as well.
What are some maybe the goals you're looking forward to kind of hammer in once the camp comes around?
Just really getting prepared, and really, our strength staff's going to do a great job of preparing those bodies and toughening those guys up, and continuing to build on what we started last January after the season ended. But we're going to continue to try to clean up the fundamentals and continue to move forward. And we're not going to change a lot. It's really about getting our guys get that extra half step, playing faster, and that's going to come with confidence and preparation.
What's your main goals for session 1 this spring, now coming into ending session 15? Which do you think were best achieved?
Well, we really wanted to get our full install in, which is that's the thing that's just most exciting. We gave a lot of different looks, and the offense, to credit to them, they gave us so many looks and so many adjustments, and it's nothing that there's really nothing that we saw this spring ball that we're gonna have to focus on in fall camp, because our offense gave us every look we needed.
Defensive line seemed like a position of emphasis throughout the transfer portal and recruiting. How do you think those guys came together in this session?
I think they came along great, just building the depth, those guys understanding, and those guys working with Coach Reynolds and his understanding of what we do system-wise and the scheme. He's really familiar with it. He's coached in it before, so those guys were really able to grow and develop, and especially those new guys, he's able to get those guys acclimated quickly.
Kind of the same question with the linebackers as well, kind of captain defense. How do you think they've been?
Great, and there's a lot of competition in that room. I think there's 5 or 6 guys that are going to compete to play a lot of downs, and not all those guys can play those downs. So they're all going to have a role, but some guys are going to have more so than others, and that competition is going to drive that room. And those guys are all going to be the best version of themselves come game 1 next year.
Cole Martin and Mason Williamson have established themselves as pretty good. Nickelback, even Keith Avenue is looking good towards the end of spring as well. Does that position value seem unsettled going into fall?
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be battles each and every week with those guys because I got 3 guys that are really good players, and all those guys are going to play for us in some form or capacity.
You said that was like a 3-headed monster entering the preseason. Do you still feel like that?